This Week in Voice presents Perspectives on Gender in VoiceFirst Technology by Bradley Metrock. Hi, and welcome to This Week in Voice presents Perspectives on Gender in VoiceFirst Technology. My name is Bradley Metrock. I am CEO of a company called Score Publishing based in Nashville, Tennessee. And many of you know me as the host of the weekly podcast, This Week in Voice. In the process of recording and producing and publishing, going on 3 seasons of This Week in Voice, we have had such an incredible opportunity to hear from technological experts across the world. And in doing so, it's become clear one of the biggest issues confronting voice-first technology, the voice assistants, smart speakers, and underlying artificial intelligence and machine learning, one of the biggest issues is gender. Issues related to gender dominate our societal discourse anyway. It only makes sense that when it comes to one of the most explosive emerging technologies of our day, voice-first technology, that gender-related issues would enter this realm of debate as well. And as we've seen with This Week in Voice, they most certainly have. Over the course of this audiobook, you will have a chance to hear all sorts of experts sound off on issues related to gender that have come up over the course of the show as it's been recorded. Now, if you've never heard This Week in Voice, it's important to know the format of the show. The format of the show is each week we select and curate a group of news items that have happened over the last week. And we assemble a group of panelists from all walks of technological life, both in the United States and abroad, to comment on those stories and provide their expert perspective and feedback. And the audio selections that you're going to hear in this audiobook have all been excerpted from those podcasts. On September the 21st, 2017, our guest panelist on This Week in Voice consisted of Emily Bender, a professor of linguistics, as well as Karen Koshansky and Jess Thornhill, both involved in voice user interface design. In discussing a story related to news that Roku was developing its own smart speaker, the conversation quickly turned to gender-related issues in naming a voice assistant.
So what I thought, and this is again building off of your story from the person who had the Google Assistant and Alexa mixed up, my advice to Roku and to Facebook and whoever else is jumping in is to think carefully about how you name the assistant. I think that Google has done well by when you talk to the thing, you say, "Hey, Google," so you know what you're interacting with. I think Roku should do the same, both for this practical sort of brand identification, but also the context that we've been talking about, so that if there are differences before the skills become more consistent across them, it's easier for users to keep track of what they can expect from the one that they're talking to, but also for sort of important social reasons. So this put me in mind of a Medium post that I read actually as part of the seminar I taught on ethics and natural language processing. It's called Google Home versus Alexa, 2 simple user experience design gestures that delighted a female user, by Gianna Paolino from January of this year. And this is all connected with what does it mean to assign a gender to these assistants that are not people? And what does it mean to even personify them to that extent? And so I think that Google has done a much better thing where you are talking to Google, effectively the company or the software, where Amazon has created Alexa, given a feminine sounding name. People refer to it as she, and that leads to sort of icky interactions, as Paolino explains in this Medium post.
So let me follow up on that. So what is considered the best practice or the theoretical best practice for an intelligent assistant or a voice assistant?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?